How do you spot perpetual check threats in chess queen endgames? Imagine a game where the queen seems to dance around the king, never quite letting it escape. That's the essence of perpetual check, a tricky pattern to spot but vital to understand. When you're in a queen endgame, the queen's power to check from many directions makes it a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can force a draw through perpetual check, but on the other, it can be a dangerous threat if you don't see it coming. To recognize these threats, start by carefully watching the position of both kings and queens. The queen's ability to check along ranks, files, and diagonals means it can deliver checks from many angles. If the queen can move repeatedly to squares that threaten the opposing king, watch out. These checks often from cycles that the king cannot escape from because all escape squares are controlled or blocked. The next step is to look at the king's available safe squares. If the king is near the edge or corner of the board, its options are limited, making perpetual check more likely. Also, examine whether the queen can deliver checks without being captured or blocked. If the defending side cannot interpose a piece or move the king to safety, the checks can continue endlessly. Pay attention to pawn structures too. Pawns can restrict the king's movement, especially if the king is trapped behind its own pawns or near promotion squares. This makes it easier for the queen to keep checking without giving the king room to escape. Cross-checks and counter-checks are tactical tools in queen endgames. When one player checks the king, the opponent might respond with a counter-check to disrupt the pattern. Recognizing these tactical motifs helps you see if perpetual check is possible or if you can break the cycle. Centralized queens are also more dangerous because they control many squares and can switch between different checking positions quickly. To spot threats during a game, visualize sequences where your queen checks the king repeatedly. Think about whether the king has safe squares to run to or if it's forced into a checking pattern. Assess whether your queen or other pieces can block or capture the checking queen. Keep in mind that perpetual check often serves as a drawing resource, especially when one side is behind in material or under pressure. By understanding these elements, you can better anticipate threats and decide whether to avoid falling into perpetual checks or to use them as a defensive tool to secure a draw.